You are listening to the B.I.G Show with your hosts, Calvin and Garland. The B.I.G Show is a weekly breakdown of the sports world from a fan's perspective. Here are your hosts, Calvin and Garland.
Whoa! It is the big show. And we're back under 7 days. It's like we never left. You know what I mean? So welcome.
We back,
Welcome.
y'all.
Welcome to our house. Cause now we starting to get into football season. So y'all
Now we
definitely
ready to
gonna
go.
see, y'all gonna see some more consistency and everything.
We're
I'm
ready.
Calvin. That guy right there is Garland. You can catch us on all the podcast platforms. We're live on YouTube right now. If you have Spotify, you will be able to see our beautiful mugs when we upload the
Jeez.
podcast. Hey, Garland, what's going on, man?
Hey man, it's Wednesday, right?
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, and so I'm just glad it's not 1,000 degrees. School starts in a couple weeks. Life goes back to normal. I am teaching this semester, so I'm looking forward to that.
Ah,
University of Baltimore.
you going back to
Uh,
teaching?
yeah, I'm going back to teaching. I'm going back to the second chance program down at Jessup Correctional.
Okay,
So I'll
that's
be,
what's up.
I'll be going in there once a week or what have you. So looking forward to that. I need to go ahead and look at my textbook real quick just to make sure I'm on point because the students they be ready and I can't be half stepping because they be like, "Are you sure it's that page? It's not page 35?" I'll be like, "Well, let me go look." Then I
Do you
forget. Yeah, you ain't got nothing but idle time. You should know it's on page 35.
do you get them multiple courses or is it just one
Oh,
specific
they're
course?
earning their college degrees, and so
Okay,
you got people in there earning their bachelors. As a matter of fact, a couple people have earned their degrees and successfully come out. A couple have graduated,
that's
walked
what's
across
up.
the stage at graduation. There's one gentleman; he's doing very well. He was hired by University of Baltimore in their technology division, and he's working well. As a matter of fact, he used to be my technology guy. So when I would go into the prison weekly, he would have the classroom set up, the computer, all that other stuff, copies and everything. And so, yeah, a lot of these brothers, they have rehabilitated their lives and are coming out and stuff. And so, yeah, a lot of great success stories.
What's your course?
My course this semester, I'm going to be teaching a intro course to human services, and so
Okay,
this
okay.
program is training people to go into human services. I do have a master's in counseling. The big brain on Brad, and so I'll be teaching that course. It's like a 200 level course and stuff, and so I've taught it a couple years there, and I'm looking forward to it, man. Hopefully, I'm trying to bring the hip hop class to the prison, but I don't think the warden want that. So we'll see.
he don't want to relive the East Coast West Coast
Nah,
beef.
he don't want nothing but no public enemy playing in the prison. I got
That's
a
what's
letter
up.
from the government the other day. They don't want to hear that.
That's what's up. Garland
That's what's
giving
up.
back to the people. I
Yeah.
gave back over the weekend.
What you do?
I gave my home and my yard over to some 3-year
Yeah,
olds
yeah,
so
y'all.
so
Calvin
they
was
could
out there
celebrate.
sweating. It was hot too.
It was hot. So they can celebrate their little. So it's we normally do like promotions from pre-K to kindergarten and all, but
Hmm.
now they got the head starts and the early head starts. So my grandson is, they're not even graduating and it's not even promotion, they're just moving on. So he's going from early head start to another head start program, which is regular head start, but he's not going to be in the same building. So all of his little
Okay.
friends and this is his first set of friends, all of them are going to be going to different places. So I was just like, let's just have them get together. They don't know what it is, just let them get together. And they got together, they was
Mhm.
running all around my yard. I told my kids that came to help out, I was like, listen now, this yard is made for other children, for a
Right.
bunch of children. My kids looked at me, was like, well, you better adopt them because we ain't having them. So my kids ain't giving me no more grandchildren. But look, I said that until it started getting later in the day, and I was just like, yeah, I don't need no more. It's time for
Right.
these kids to go.
I'm
But
trying to get grandkids, so I'm trying to be like you, man.
it was really more for the parents. My daughter got to sit down with the other parents, and they really got to discussing the program and what
Mm-hmm.
they liked and didn't like, you know. So we was kind of off on the side, the rest of the family. So letting them just vent, but it was a good time, man. It was a good time. They it was supposed to be over at 6. Man, they ain't leave out my house. I had to come in the house. Me and the wife came in the house and started watching the Ravens
Uh,
games. And we while they were sitting out there, they ain't leave till it got dark. So I'm glad they had a
Let
good
me ask
time.
you this. So you had adult food there. I know you had shrimp salad. I know you
No.
had no.
And so it's well shrimp salad, yes, but that was last minute. So you know my mother stays here. So
Yes.
as we because it was just really hamburgers, hot dogs, they got some
Okay.
chicken because what they weren't supposed to be here, but no more than 2-3 hours. But my mother was like, I'll make some shrimp salad and some string beans because you know she old school. She like we
I'm
gotta
good at
do that.
that.
So
Right.
they did have some of that, you know.
Uh-huh.
My kid bought just some coolers and some cut water, so they all got to sit down. It was only 4 families, so it wasn't like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it was a lot. It was
Not
only
like a
four
regular
families.
cookout or nothing.
Each family was a mother and a father, which I like to see.
Yeah.
Full family, mother and father. I think they were all married, so you know, don't
Well,
believe the narrative, y'all.
right.
These kids are growing up in 2-parent households, and they're not just sending off one parent to do something. But they both came, and the kids were there, so it was a good time, man. It was a good time. So that
That's
was my
good.
little giving back. And my landlord, my grandson, the next day he called himself helping me. I showed Garland the picture. He called
He
himself helping
quick.
me clean up for his party.
He on
He's
his
sitting there,
tablet.
he on his tablet, relaxing, drinking a soda. A soda, not even a juice, a soda. And then was like, it's too hot out here, Papa, and was walking away. Went right back in the house, had me out there sweating the whole time.
Yeah, you know what? I'm dying because I saw the little picture of the end of the Head Start. He had his crew. I'm like, look at the landlord, like
I got an
little
updated
hustler
picture of
right
his
here.
crew. The three of them, the three amigos, I got an
Right.
updated picture of them. They were all here. They were both here.
Like the Rock Boys or something. Rock Boys in the building tonight. I was like, this little Jay Z. Well, we don't want Diddy in it, but you know, is it Jay and Kendrick and whoever else? You know, look at a
Build,
little Rock Boys.
building little memories. That'll be one of
Hey.
his first pictures with friends. And when he see him later on in life, he'd be like, "Hey, I got a picture with y'all."
Right.
So
Yo, remember
that's
when we used to chase the girls around, squeeze their butts back in the day?
well, they wasn't even squeezing. They was throwing water on each other. I had a little
Right.
pool out there, so they was throwing water on each other. Kids was coming. They was coming up on the porch all dunking. They was like, such and such put a bucket of water on me, and we was just like, Lord have mercy,
Oh, jeez.
kids,
Kids.
man.
Hey, everybody, I know y'all ready. It's that time. Oops.
It's the sport of kings, better than diamond rings. That's why we're here to sing football. Sunday in the snow.
Football, y'all. It's the football preview show. You know what? It's funny, man. It came up in my Facebook memories, man. We've been doing the football review show for about 3 years now. So we
That's
on our
what's up.
thing. And so yeah, that's what's up. You know, so I know everybody's looking forward to our predictions and everything. And so we're going to start off the NFL preview show, as we call it. We're going to start with the NFC this week. Next week, we're going to go to the AFC. Then we'll make our final predictions. We're going to make some predictions today in terms of division winners and wild card teams. And then when we come back next week and we do the AFC, we'll do our total champions and all those things. You know, and so I think we've missed the last couple of years because we've had the home team in there representing the AFC definitely. So we might be a little bit more realistic this year. But Calvin, let's go ahead and start off with the NFC East. And so in the NFC East, it hosts the league champion, the Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. They
Hmm.
finished 14-3 last season, Super Bowl champs. And there was one wild card team in that division. It was the Commanders at 12-5, which was a shock to most people. They had a rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels. They were able to beat the Tampa Bay Bucks in the wild card. They beat the Lions in the divisional, which was a big upset. But then they lost to the Eagles in the NFC Championship in Philly. And so there have been a couple new additions to a couple teams in that conference. Or so you had the Commanders. They added Laramie Tunsil. They traded for him from the Texans. Now he's playing left tackle, protecting the backside of Daniels. They added Debo Samuels as well at wide receiver. His time in San Francisco came to an end. Also, they added Von Miller as a free agent signing at defensive end. Although some of his best days are behind him, he's still got maybe a sack or two left that brings some veteran presence to the defensive line. But they're having some contract dispute right now with Terry McLaurin. He wants more money. He wants to be played as a paid, excuse me, as a top receiver. And so right now he is doing a hold in, and there's hope that the Commanders will get him signed. But we'll see. He may start the season holding up, and so we'll see what happens. The Giants, meanwhile, they added Russell Wilson. Let Russ cook. He tried to cook last year for the Steelers, and the Ravens spoiled some of that cooking for him. But he had a decent season there, and Pittsburgh led them to the playoffs. Also, they signed Jameis Winston as a free agent. Jameis was a backup last year in Cleveland, and now he's on the Giants roster. They drafted Abdul Carter, a defensive end. He was the top, I think he was the third overall draft pick in the first round of this year's draft, defensive end out of Penn State. And they added Jackson Dart as well as quarterback. Got him at the end of the first round, where a lot of people thought maybe they might take Shedeur Sanders, but they wound up taking Jackson Dart, trading back up into the first round to get him. The Cowboys, they hired a new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer. He comes in, but Jerry always keeps drama in Dallas. Michael Parsons right now is in a contract dispute with Dallas. He's already put in his trade demand, and they're just at an impasse. It's a possibility that he may sit out this season as well, although he has 1 year left on his deal. You had several big defensive linemen, defensive ends got deals this year. You got TJ Watt, got a big deal. Miles Garrett got a big deal. And so people want their money to go up. They want the bag. And Michael Parsons, one of those. And so him and Jerry are having a back and forth on that. Have you watched any of the Cowboys documentary on Netflix yet?
No,
Okay.
just the commercials with Dion and
Yeah.
Michael Irvin, but
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah. I've seen the little clips on TikTok and what have you. So hopefully one day I'll get to sit down and take a look at it. And so, who you thinking Calvin takes this division this year? And talk about a little over under. Vegas has the Eagles at 11.5 wins this season. They have the Commanders at 9.5, a little dip down from what they did last season. The Cowboys are at 7.5, and the Giants are at 5.5 wins. And so, who are you thinking in this division this year?
Hey man, this is probably my most problematic division because every year I pick the Cowboys,
Hmm.
and every year they disappoint me. Also now with this division, I'm a big Jaden Daniels fan and the Commanders. I'm also a big Jalen Hurts fan with the Eagles. So this division could be a division with four black quarterbacks. Probably
Definitely.
Jackson Dart will start, but if Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston gets the opening day start, this could be a division with four black quarterbacks, which is significant for us. Doesn't have any bearing on what I'm about to say. So, uh, until you beat the champ, they are the champ. Let me pencil this in right now. I'm going with the Eagles. The Eagles are definitely the class of the division. There's always this talk about Saquon is he can't have the same year, and in the history, running backs that run that much and get that many yards, they always digress. But no one gives Jalen Hurts any credit for the football that he's been playing over the past few years. He still has his receivers. I mean, they got Devontae there, and he's a number two on their team. but he could be a number one somewhere else.
pretty much. And
So
they just traded for John Mitchell from
he,
Texans as well.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Eagles. Now I did want to pick the Commanders because like I said, I'm a big Jaden Daniels fan, but there's always that sophomore slump that these quarterbacks run into. We saw it with Stroud from the Texans. You know, his rookie season, they talking about he might be better than Lamar, and he digressed that second year
Sure.
big time. So you got to give him that. And then if they're not signing Terry McLaurin, that's a huge hit to their team. They may not even have their starting running back, Brian, what's his name? Brian
Brian
Davis Jr.
Robinson.
Brian Robinson. They're talking about he might be on the trading block, which leaves them with Austin Eckler, and then I believe they drafted a rookie in the third round. So I'm going to go with the Commanders in this. Right now, I'm not sure if I want to pick I'm sorry, I'm going with the Eagles. I'm not sure if I
Hmm.
want to pick the Commanders as a wild card team or not, but I definitely got the Eagles. I do think the Cowboys are going to improve, but until you sign Micah Parsons, you're not going anywhere. We didn't mention that they did get in the offseason, they did get George Pickens from the Steelers
Sure.
in the
Hmm.
trade, which I do think boosts their offense, but they don't have a running back. You know, they may be running back by committee right now, so they don't really have a top tier running back. So I'm going to leave them on the shelf like I should have the last 3 years when I picked them to win.
Right, right. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Eagles as well. They're basically returning that Super Bowl team intact. Defense line has not changed. Linebackers have not changed. I think they upgraded a little bit in the defensive backfield. Hurts, you're right, he does not get enough credits. And they just their run game last year, getting Saquon and the work that he did, jumping over people backwards. They just really, yeah, it's crazy.
One of the
Th-
greatest plays
yeah.
ever.
And so they're just a very, very well rounded team. They're the class of that particular division. I don't think it's even close. I'm kind of concerned about Dallas. If they don't get Micah in, they're going to have a lot of problems. I know this is a rebuilding year for the Giants. I think, what Vegas has them at 5 wins. I think that's just right, about right, maybe six. They will pull off some wins, but they still have a lot of holes throughout that team in terms of running back, wide receiver. Although they had the young kid that they drafted last year, still in the same. They have a lot of
Yeah,
different holes.
Neighbors, Malik
Yeah,
Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors. They still have a lot of different holes, and they're still rebuilding that team. But I definitely think they're going to pull a upset off or two during the season.
Yeah,
The Cowboys, I just want to see what happens under Schottenheimer. There's always this drama surrounding the team, but you got Pickens, you got CD Lamb, you do have Dak there, very good players. But they're really going to need Micah Parsons, and if they don't get Micah Parsons in there, it's going to be a long season. And so I'm with you. I support that. The Eagles, I think, will win that division. And once we talk about wild card, I'll add mines there. I think the Commanders are going to be up there. Will they have a slight dip this year? Yeah. If they don't get McLaurin in there, that's a lot. I mean, I saw some statistic that he was targeted over 30% of Jaden Daniels throws, and so he's looking for him a lot in that passing game. He stretches the field for them. He's very consistent for them, and so they're going to need him there. All right, let's transition to the NFC North. And so last year, the Lions, second consecutive year winning that division. They were 15-2, Calvin. They had a great year, although they played it without Aiden Hutchinson, their best defensive lineman. They had a lot of injuries. As a matter of fact, that's pretty much the thing that killed them in the playoffs. They didn't have too many players on the defense left by the time that they got to the playoffs. They lost a lot of key players along the season, but they still did very well. They lost in the upset to the Commanders at home in the divisional round. A lot of people had them at least get into the NFC Championship with the Eagles. That team had three teams in the playoffs last season. You had the Vikings, who were 14-3. That was another major kind of, I won't say upset, but it was a major happening in that division. I don't think a lot of people were looking at the Vikings were going to do that well, especially with the transition in the quarterback position. I know that they were looking at probably J.J. McCarthy to start last season. He was out, and so they wind up starting, and we're going to forget names. The quarterback that's now with Seattle. Uh,
Sam Darnold.
yeah, thank you, sir. So they wound up starting Sam Donald, who played very well for them, but didn't play well for them in the playoffs, in which they lost to the Rams in the wild card. And then you had the Packers; they went 11-6. They were third in the division, and they lost to the Eagles in the wild card. And so there's been some transition in the division. The Bears, they hired away Ben Johnson, who was the offensive coordinator for the Lions. As a matter of fact, the Lions lost both of their coordinators. They also lost their defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, who's gone to be the head coach of the Jets. Um, so I think that's going to have a major impact on the Lions this year. When we look at over unders, Vegas had the Lions at 10.5 wins, the Packers at 9.5, and they had the Vikings and the Bears at 8.5. They're looking at a little slight improvement for the Bears with Ben Johnson there. And so, what are your thoughts about this division? Who do you think takes the NFC North?
So I'm going Green Bay here. So it is, and I'm glad you mentioned it. They lost their defensive coordinator and they lost their offensive coordinator, and I'm talking about the Lions. That is a big deal. Just being Ravens fans, we've watched defensive and offensive coordinators
Definitely.
leave, and you can go ahead and practice all off season, but when it comes to those games, it makes a difference uh, when there's a different coordinator. If we just go back to the Ravens, we lost what's his face to the we forget names all the time, to the Seattle Seahawks.
Mike
Um,
McDonald.
Mike McDonald to the Seahawks. He had the number one defense rolling. Hardly anyone changed, but then when we came back the next year, Zach Orr, it was like it felt like he was lost. It took a few games for them to get to where they are now. They had to make some adjustments. They had to have some injuries. With that being said, you cannot start off slow in a division where you have the Packers and the Vikings and an improved Bears team with a coordinator that knows your team. The Lions are definitely going to take a dip. I don't know about the Bears being over 8.5. That's a woo.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
strong right there.
yeah. I
But
think that's probably on the back of Ben Johnson more than anything. It's got to be.
that is strong. But I'm gonna go with the Packers with this one. I'm still torn in my wild cards. So
Mhm.
like I said, we'll talk about that. Like you said, we'll talk about that later. But I'm taking the Packers here.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Lions. I think they will repeat. I think it will be a dip. I don't think they're going to win 15 games this year, but Jared Goff, Amon St. Ra, they still have the great running backs there. I forget, it's not fire and ice, but, the running
Were they
backs.
they weren't Thunder and Lightning, were they?
I think it was Thunder and Lightning.
Were they Thunder and Lightning?
Yeah, yeah. They still have the great backs. They have a great tight end in Laporta, although they did lose a couple offensive linemen. The center retired, and also the guy that played guard for the Ravens for a couple years, Zeitler, he wound up
Zeitler Carlson.
signing with the Titans. But, I think with Aiden Hutchinson coming back, I think that defense is going to be okay. I don't think they're going to be, putting up the numbers offensively that they were putting up last season. But I don't trust J.J. McCarthy in terms of he's basically a rookie, coming
I
in
agree with
to
that.
this season, and so I'm not quite sure. Although you got Justin Jefferson there, I don't,
Well, they're
I don't
gonna
know if
lose
that's
their
going.
number two. What's
Yeah,
his
he's
name?
going to be
He's
suspended.
suspended. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, I don't really think the Vikings are going to have that. And we said the Vikings they had them at 8.5 wins. I think that's probably just about right. The Packers, it's something about Love and the head coach. I they don't wow me defensively. I think once you line them up with the Lions, I think the Lions can handle them, and so that's why I'm going with the Lions to win the division.
Let me say, I talked about how, excuse me, how
Mhm.
they don't give Jalen Hurts enough credit. I think Jared Goff gets too much credit. You mentioned
Wow.
that
Okay.
they lost the playoff game because they had a lot of players hurt on defense. They lost the playoff game because Jared Goff threw to every defensive player on the Commanders that he could find. I think the real Jared Goff really stood up and showed up in that playoff game. I mean, I think he's
Hmm.
an, a decent to average quarterback, but I think he's benefited from the run game, the defense these past couple years, and the
Mhm.
coaching. But I just don't think I think for them to go over the top, they probably need a better quarterback. I don't know if you get that in the draft or whatever, but their window is closing, and I don't think Jared Goff's the guy. Although he did go to the Super Bowl with the
Yeah,
Rams a few
he
years
did go
ago.
to Super
Yeah.
Bowl with the Rams. He's won a couple division titles with the Lions. But I respect your analysis of this, and so yeah, he did. I mean, they turned the ball over a lot. They turned the ball over a lot in that playoff game, and then they just got boat raced by McLaren and those wide receivers in what
Mhm.
the Commanders were doing, and so the Commanders came in hot. And I think the Lions just defensively they couldn't stop anything. As a matter of fact, I think one of their best defensive backs he got injured in that game as well. And so yeah, it's just the right amount of things were falling in the way of the Commanders and not for the Lions. And that we would have thought that they would have. I think they blew their chance the year before when they got to the NFC Championship and they had the lead, and your boy kept on
Yes.
risking the biscuit, and he was going for it on fourth down when he didn't need to, and all
Mhm.
of these things. And so, yeah, sometimes that window closes fast. You think, oh yeah, we'll be back next year. You never know what you're going to run into. And so, there you go. All right, let's talk a little bit about the NFC South. Now, this is probably most people would probably point to this division as the weakest in the NFC. Tampa Bay has basically been winning that division with 8-9 record. They were 10-7 last year. They lost at home to the Commanders in the wild card. Baker Mayfield's gone there and resurrected his career. It doesn't hurt when you're throwing to Hall of Fame wide receivers. And so Mike Evans, and Curtis Godwin. That'll help you out when you got good players and you got a good offensive line, and you can do some of those things. And so they were the only playoff team in that division. And so you had at least three teams that were picking in the top 10. You had the Panthers. They took Tet McMillan, who was a wide receiver out of Arizona. They added Hunter Renfro. The Saints, they hired a new head coach in Kellen Moore, who they stole away from the Cowboys, who's the offensive coordinator there. And yeah, was no Kellen Moore. He was in Philly last year. I'm sorry, he was
Yeah,
Super
he
Bowl
they
winning offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm sorry, he was with the Cowboys 2 seasons ago. And so yes, so they got Kellen Moore, who was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles last year. Derek Carr, who wound up retiring this season for the Saints. And so you have a quarterback battle there with Spencer Rattler and the quarterback that they drafted. I think he was a third round pick. He's like 27. He had all of those COVID years that he could play. And so right now, Spencer Rattler is winning that job, but they don't have too much more there in New Orleans. And Michael Penix is going to be starting for the Falcons. They decided to move forward with Penix after drafting him early in the first round last season, and you still have his backup. Oh my God, we forget names.
Kurt um Kurt Kirk Cousins.
Yes, Kirk Cousins. I'm putting Calvin to the test, and so
Mr.
Kirk Cousins.
Mr. Steal Your Money.
Yeah,
He was stealing money.
Mr. Steal Your Money, Kirk Cousins. He's still a backup there. There's some thought that they would have let him go or traded him during the draft season. Did not. They still have him there as a backup, most expensive backup in the league, and so it's a possibility they might go ahead and keep him. If Phoenix struggles, you never know. They might go back to Kirk Cousins, and so looking at this division, all those kind of things, you got teams rebuilding. Panthers, they're going into, I believe this is the third year of their quarterback. They had a all right defense last year, not nothing to write home to, but still kind of rebuilding. Saints, they're in flux. Spencer Rattler is not going to carry them to the playoffs, I don't think. And so, what are your thoughts about the NFC South and who comes out as the division winner there?
It's pretty easy that it's going to be Tampa Bay. Like it's
Hmm.
not even close. The Saints are so bad that they're trying to the fans are asking to trade for Jameis Winston. They're like, bring Jameis back. I think they just want
Right.
the entertainment value there. Carolina, although they did make a marked improvement second half of the season last year, I still don't think they quite have enough to get over that hump. But let's not sleep on Atlanta. I think the Falcons do have some pieces in place where they could make a run and could compete. But this being Penix's full season,
Right.
I don't know if they'll be able to get over that hump. But I do think, like you said about the Giants, I do think they're going to give some people some battles and they might get some upsets there. But I'm taking Tampa Bay in this division.
Yeah, Vegas has the Bucks at 9.5 wins. They have the Falcons at 7.5, the Panthers at 6.5, and they have the Saints at 5.5. And so that pretty much translates out. I agree with you. I think the Falcons are going to win some games. They can be very competitive. I mean, I think it's going to really depend on what happens with Penix and that offense. I mean, they got Bijan Robinson there. He's a great running back. They had the tight end that they drafted, Pitts. Hopefully, he finally breaks out. The wide receiver, I can see him now. I know he had a good game against the Ravens a couple years ago.
Uh,
Oh my God, this is a place
yeah.
where we forget names. And so, yeah, and so they got a decent receiver, and so just, but they don't have any names on defense, and that's the thing. Can they stop people? And I do believe that Tampa, in terms of with the head coach and the defensive minded team, and with Baker, I think they, have enough to go ahead and repeat as the division champions this year. So I'm with you as well. I'm going with Tampa Bay. All right, and so that carries us to our last division in the NFC, and that's the NFC West. Last season, the Rams, they went 10-7, and they beat the Vikings in the division round, and they lost the Eagles. Excuse me, they beat the Vikings in the wild card, and they lost to the Eagles in the divisional, and that was a great game. It started off dry, and then it ended with snow on the field. I think Saquon had a big game in that. Uh, Rams were in it up to the end. There were no other teams that made the playoffs out of that division. It was like really a transitional year for the Niners, who lost a couple players. I don't think Debo played too much. Their other wide receiver was out for a significant amount of time. And so you do see some major additions in the division. The Rams, who were thinking about letting Matt Stafford go, they wind up re-signing him, although he's having some back issues in camp. He has not practiced yet, so they're still trying to see how his health is going to be. The Niners, they signed Brock Purdy to a 5-year, $265 million contract, making him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. They drafted a defensive end this year, 11th overall, Michael Williams. The Seattle Seahawks, they signed Sam Darnold to a 3-year deal there, letting go. Oh my God, well, I won't forget my man. He's in Vegas now,
Geno Smith.
the place where we forget names. Geno Smith, and they also signed Cooper Cup, who was released by the Rams as well. And so
Mhm.
Cooper Cup is there. Hopefully, he has a little bit more left in the tank to finish out the season. And so, what are your thoughts about the NFC West?
Yeah, so I didn't hear you say anything about your favorite quarterback, little man. I hear
Oh
you
yeah,
say
little
nothing
man. You know what? Yeah, the Cardinals, they
about your
did bring
Cardinals.
back one of the Monstars to the defensive lineman, Calais Campbell. Uh, little man, he still, he got the top receiver last year in terms of oh my God, this is a place where we
Ma-
forget names.
Marvin Harrison.
Yes, Marvin Harrison Jr. And so you know, but it's the Cardinals. There's no need to mention the Cardinals, but nonetheless, yeah, little
Yeah,
man, he's still there.
Yeah, this is a tough division to even think about because the 49ers are going to be so dependent on Christian McCaffrey staying healthy
He was out most of
to
last
win.
season. I think he
Yeah.
only played 4 games.
They they don't have Debo. Brandon good gracious, now I forgot the name.
Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon Ayuk is out probably for the season, at least half the season. They're going to have to depend on Jawan Jennings. They do have um, the white guy that got shot in his chest last year. Forgot his
Ricky
name.
Pearsall.
Ricky Pearsall. They do have him.
It's my
Um,
turn to throw out names.
so it's such a difficult division to look at. I do think the Cardinals are going to open up more and give Marvin Harrison more chances to actually catch the ball in traffic and short passes as opposed to just running long the whole time. Um, I am just not a big fan of the Los Angeles Rams.
Mm,
And they've Matt Stafford keeps him there. They stay there now. He has, like you said, these back
mhm.
injuries. He hasn't practiced, so they don't even know if he's going to be ready for week one. I don't think the Seahawks with Sam Darnold are going to really be able to do much of anything. They may be decent, but I really think their window has closed, but I'm gonna say Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, and I'm gonna go 49ers and the West.
All right, fantastic. Uh, you know what? I really Sean McVay manages to do a whole lot with not a whole bunch of great players. I mean, Puka Nakua is now the star receiver there.
They did pick
Uh,
up Devontae Adams.
yeah, they. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, they had
you know
Devontae
what?
Adams.
It's really going to depend on if Stafford can get on the field and if he's
Right.
healthy. I mean, I really think that that's the key for them. And because his health's a little shaky right now, I'm going to go with the Niners as well. I think, they're coming back with the quarterback is healthy, the running back is healthy. Debo was nice, but, I think really Brandon Ayuk and the other receivers really, was helping to carry the 49ers. I think they have a very good defensive team. And so let's see, Vegas had the Niners at 10.5 wins this season, the Rams at 9.5 wins, the Cards at 8.5, and Seattle at 8.5 as well. And so I do think Seattle, I like what Mike McDonald has done out there so far. I just don't trust Sam Donald. Cooper Cup is not Cooper Cup from 3 or 4 years
Not the same.
ago. It's not the same guy. And so, I'm not sure how much of an impact they're going to have because they don't really have a lot of, they let go DK Metcalf. Also, the other receiver that they had there, who was pretty good.
Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett. Thank you. It's Calvin's day for names. And so Tyler Lockett's not there anymore. And so I don't even think Noah Fan is there, who was their tight end. And so, a lot of transition on the offensive side of the ball. I think they're going to be fine defensively, but they got to score. You're going to have to score in this division. And I don't know if they have enough to score. I think the Rams do, but it's really going to be contingent on how healthy Matt Staff is going to be throughout the year. And so if I was going to go with health, I'd probably go with Brock Purdy. He's younger, and they have a younger core, at least with the Niners. All right, so let me go through division winners again. Calvin, he picks the Eagles in the NFC East, the Packers in the NFC North, uh, the Tampa Bay Bucks in the NFC South, and he takes the Niners in the NFC West. I'm taking the Eagles in the East, the Lions in the North, the Bucks in the South, and I'm taking the Niners in the West. And so we are different on who's going to win the North. Who are your wild card teams?
Yeah, I'm just looking this over, and there's some slim pickings over here in the NFC.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna go ahead and give the Commanders the wild card. I'm gonna give the Lions the wild card. Um, whew. if the Rams can stay, if Matthew Stafford is healthy, I would definitely give the Rams the wild card. Um, yeah, let's do that. We'll, we'll
Rams.
we'll give the Rams the wild card, the third
Okay.
wild card.
All right. I ditto on the Commanders. I do agree. Um, I think that I'm gonna take an upset. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Packers since I did not take them as the division winner. I think they have enough to get the wild card. And if I was going to pick another team, you know what? I'm gonna pick a crazy team. I'm gonna take the Cardinals.
Not little man,
I'm gonna take Little Man.
not little
They got
man.
Little Man at 8.5 wins. A ball here, there. You never know what's gonna happen. And so I'm gonna take Little Man coming out the West. You never know. They might be
They
able
do
to
they
upset.
they do have a really good tight end in Trey McBride.
Yes.
So okay,
Yeah.
okay,
We'll see
I can
what
see that.
happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And so,
So really, the only thing we differ in, because I took the Lions as a wild card, the Packers win the division. You have it reversed. Only
right,
thing we differ in is the third wild card. I gave it to the Rams. You gave it to the Cardinals.
Cardinals. Yeah. So we both got teams coming out the West. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so pretty good picks, pretty good picks. And so next week we're going to spend some time on the AFC North. We're going to talk about, of course, excuse me, the AFC. Well, I already went to our division, but we're going to talk about the AFC. We're going to talk about the East, the North, and the South, and the West. Of course, we're going to get into our Ravens, who were ranked very high this year. Of course, with the Bills, who had the DEI MVP last year. Uh, and so we're going to keep on going and go
Not the
into
DEI
yeah, he was the DEI MVP
So
last year, and so we'll run through them next week, and then we'll come up with our AFC and NFC champions and make our Super Bowl predictions. And so as we bring a close to the show, Calvin, you got any come on yo's?
yeah, I got a couple. I got a couple. I'm trying to think of which direction I want to. You know what? I'll just say them both. My first one is going to be real short.
Mm-hmm.
My first one is going to be almost like a reverse come on, yo. In the days and the ages of all these, you got NIL, you got these record contracts. Quarterbacks are breaking records every day. Every quarterback signing is getting more money. They're talking about Lamar is going to sign again because they do need some relief on his cap hit. I mean, money is just flying everywhere. Um, you forget about some of these guys some of these athletes in these leagues are just trying to make it. They're just trying to take care of the family. Tyler Badgett of the Chicago Bears just signed. He's a backup quarterback, third year, undrafted free agent. Just signed a 2-year, $10 million extension to his contract. So to us, that doesn't sound like anything. They interviewed him, and this guy was in tears. He talked about how his father didn't have running water in his home until he was in high school. He talked about no one from his hometown really has any money. He talked about how this money can help his family and his friends and people that he know. Come on, yo. Come on, yo. If things like that don't make you realize that these guys are just human. Yeah, you got your elites, and those are the ones that are focused on all the time. But some of these guys that make the practice squad, some of these guys that are second and third stringers, they need this money. They are looking forward to this. They need the help. When we're watching these final preseason games coming up this weekend, these guys are out there. They're fighting for their lives, literally, and the lives of their families. So come on, yo. You gotta love the stories like that. We're all gonna love the story when Micah Parsons signs his money, when he's traded or whatever. We're gonna all be into that. But stories like that, come on, yo! Shout out to the Chicago Bears and Tyler Badgett. So come on, yo, let's do that. My main come on, yo, is my wife and I are part of a little couples group, and it's our turn to kind of plan a little entertainment venue. So really my turn, not our turn, my turn. So we went to Top Golf not too long ago. They planned that. So I thought we could go bowling. Come on, yo. Have you ever tried to schedule bowling? Long gone are the days you just rent a lane and go. I'm emailing some of these places. I'm just like, yeah, I want to get rent some lanes, and they, oh, we got a package, and why is everything a package? They telling me for 12 people it's going to cost damn near $1,000 in some places. Well, with the food and this and
Yeah,
that, and
food.
I'm like, okay, I literally emailed this place back and said, I just want to go and rent the lanes and bowl, and everybody can buy their own food or whatever. Or I might order a couple pizzas or whatever. Oh, yeah, we don't really have a package like that. Well, what do you mean? What does the ordinary person do? Come on, yo. Fuck these bowling alleys. Why is everything such a big fucking deal? Come on, yo. I might, you know what I might do? You know what I might do? I might change bowling to a movie because you can rent out a theater for $200 and then be happy with that shit.
True.
I
True.
mean, god damn. Come
You know
on,
what?
yo. Fuck
You
these
gotta
bowling
try
alleys.
Main Event. It's kind of like a Dave and Buster's. It's in at Columbia Mall. My wife, shout out to my wife Paula. Her birthday was on
Happy
Monday,
birthday, Paula.
and we went out to Main Event, and I reserved two lanes. This cost me a little over $100, and I didn't get the package. I was like, people can order their food when they get there,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
so it wound up being cheaper. We had probably at least maybe 5 or 6 people on each lane. We bowled for an hour and a half. People went and got their own cards that you can use to play the games or what have you, and it worked well. So check out
Yeah,
Main
I'm
Event.
I'm still I'm still looking to see, but goddamn, this place was called Stratosphere out in Westminster.
Oh, okay.
Now
See, you going? Yeah. There's
but the
yeah,
lanes weren't that expensive. So the lanes were
but it was the
like
food and
30 or $40. Yeah, but you had to get the food and the package, and I'm just like,
I
come
hate it.
on,
I hate it.
yo.
I hate it. Come on, Baltimore Orioles, with these ticket changes.
I
As
was
a
that close.
You that close?
I was that close. I was that
Yo, we're season ticket holders. You already know that. We had the 13 game package. It was nice and convenient. 13 games is a lot of games, y'all. It's, trust me, it's a lot of games. Going to 13 games, that's a commitment.
it's a
And
commitment.
it's a commitment. And this year they eliminated the 13 game package and they went to a 20 game package. They do have a 10 game package, but it's only for select games. Like this 13 game package, they did have different choices of games that we could go see across those 13 games. So we usually got 2 games a month, a weekday, sometimes like a Saturday or a Friday or something like that. And so it just worked well. And with this change, and some of the seats are not going to be the same that were for the 13 game package. Now, it's going to be the 20 game package. And so, we are going to go back again. We're going to try to do the 20 game, but come on, yo. Y'all could have rolled this out better. Y'all could have made this a little bit easier for people to do. And the fact that you had a losing season, although you've won a couple games, you would think that the Orioles are going to the World Series with these last couple of series wins, and which is good. I love a competitive team. They calling up these guys in the minors. The pitching has done better, and so hopefully they don't come home and go back to what they were before they left out on this road trip. But come on, Orioles, cut us a break, man. Sign some players. How about this? You changing the ticket prices, things are going up. Can you go out and get some good players to go along with your core players who are here, so we can see some better pitching, some better hitting? Um, so come on, Orioles. We love you. Thank you. It gives you something great to do during the summer to go out. We get to sit out there. We're talking, partly watching the game, but we're more so there just for the atmosphere, And
Mhm.
I'm there to just get the free soda that I bring my cup to every year, even though I got a cup
Whoa, whoa,
from two
whoa.
years.
Don't
The
could
Orioles,
don't
do they listen? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
they do.
I'm
You
sorry,
know the
Orioles.
owner with the city. Yo, chill out, yo.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You
I'm
about to
sorry.
get banned from the ballpark.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I am going to buy a new cup. I'm gonna upgrade so they'll say that. But they'll never say nothing to me. So nonetheless. So yeah, come on, yo. Come on. But
Stealing sodas.
Yep, I be I walk right in like see you gotta walk up with authority. You just can't walk in there like looking around. Then somebody gonna get you. I
Well,
come in there
Mars
with
say,
authority.
don't be standing there talking to the fat man. Just float.
Yeah, I could walk right on over. I have my cup out, so I make it like, yeah, I already. I don't
His
go in my
cup,
bag and get my cup.
he didn't tell you his cup had Fred Lynn on it. Yo, he got the cup from the 80s.
Got Lee Lacy on it.
I'm surprised he ain't been caught yet with his Lynn Cicada.
Right. Oreo
Oreo,
magic on it.
Oreos, at least bring back the alcohol discount. Like, God damn.
Y'all playing a lot of games, Oreos.
As
Y'all
bad
playing
as
a lot
y'all
of
been
games.
playing, we need the alcohol.
Right.
Some bullshit.
Y'all playing a lot of games, but good. I love what you guys are doing lately. I mean, it's surprising they've had a winning record since they let go the manager of the year, Brandon Hyde. Got his bobblehead right here since they let Brandon Hyde go. But we know that it's really going to be what happens next season. But come on, O's.
Hey man, we'll be back probably in another 6 days or so to do the AFC.
Yes,
Listen,
looking forward to
football
that.
season is kicking in. We got fantasy football going.
Yeah.
Garland about to get eliminated this week in guillotine, and it ain't even start yet, but he about to get eliminated this week.
I changed my name. I'm trying to think. I can't remember something about balls. Morning Chubb. That's my name for
What?
That's my name for the guillotine.
Oh
Morning
man,
Chubb.
I can't wait until you get eliminated because I'm changing that shit to Morning Chubb. MOURNING. I can't
Not this year.
wait.
I'm prepping up. Not this year. I ain't gonna get eliminated this year in the first week.
Yo, fantasy football is coming. Football is coming. We'll see what they do. ESPN is now getting
Who say my name? Who say my name? Who is someone named say my name? Calvin, that's my daggone name in the league.
Yeah,
Say my name. He's eliminated. He's done already.
We zaid your name. It was chopped.
Right. Well, Chubbs is gonna be Morning Chubby. Morning Chubbs is gonna be.
First of all, that should be a pause right then and there. Like it should be a pause.
I almost picked Glizzy Patrol, but then I was like, everybody gonna know who that is. And so,
so anyway, we thank y'all for joining us. Remember, this is live on YouTube. You can catch us on all the podcast platforms. If you have Spotify, you'll get to see our faces and you'll get to see the pause on Garland's face every time he says something that's pause worthy, which is every 5 seconds or so.
Morning Chubb. You have been listening to the B.I.G. Show. This show was produced and written by Calvin Coates and Garland Thomas for All Things Black Productions. Follow us on all of your podcast media platforms.
Change these intros and outros too. Sound like Barry White around that motherfucker.
Yes, sir.
Later, man.
All right, bro.